everybody, Tom here from rcwebclub.com, and I'm here to talk about the E-Flite Ready to Fly Blade mCX. I know what you're probably thinking. You're probably thinking, wait a minute, this review has just been posted on YouTube, and yet the Blade mCX has been out for almost 2 years, about 2 years now, and they've even came out with an upgrade, the Blade mCX2. Well, anyway, this one was recently given to a friend of mine by a friend of his who flew it into a tree while flying outside, which I don't recommend, and he couldn't get it back for about 3 weeks. So, you know, the weights on the fly bar are a little rusted, the casings on the motor are a little rusted, but it still flies fine. Hold on, I gotta discipline my dog. Daisy? Stay away from that. Sorry about that. Anyway, it still flies fine. In fact, I bought a new canopy for it for aesthetic looks, and I put the decals on it. And then just to get it to fly forward a little bit faster, or a little bit faster than this used to fly. It probably flew about as fast as a regular Blade mCX, you know, a brand new one. But it flies a little faster now because I took the decal sheet and I folded it up and I scotch taped it to the underside of the canopy, and that gives a little bit more nose weight. And you'd be surprised how much influence that little piece of paper wadded up has. Mainly because even though it's only weighs like, I'm going to guess, about a gram or so, relative to the rest of the helicopter, it's a pretty big fraction of the weight, and so it adds a lot of it influences it a lot. I've tried a penny or a dime scotch taping it under there for faster forward flight, but like I said, this one's a little out of whack because it was in a tree for 3 weeks. So about a minute into the flight, it started the pirouette. But anyway, let me get on with the review here. As you see, we got the box right here. This is the RTF version, the Ready to Fly, and this comes with everything you need in the box, including the Heli, the 2.4 4-channel radio, the 2.4 gigahertz, rather, 4-channel radio, the DC battery charger, and the 1-cell 3.7 volt 110 milliamp LiPo battery by E-Flite. And it also comes with a total of 8 AA's, 4 for the radio and 4 for the charger. And batteries are just in the back here, and also on the back of the transmitter here. So anyway, to charge the battery, you simply make sure the label is facing outward of the charger, and you just push it in, and a red light comes on, and it's solid, meaning that it's charging. And as it goes through the charging process, it will start to blink, and when it blinks, once about every 20 seconds, or it completely shuts off, the battery's done charging. So anyway, I'm going to go through the binding procedure with you, and the binding procedure is just to let the radio know what receiver it's going to be communicating with. And the 2.4, that's very, very important, because without a bind, it doesn't work. They say it should come pre-bound from the factory, but if it isn't, or you choose to use this radio for another heli like this by buying the bind and fly version, which is about $20 cheaper, the binding process, I'm going to show you that in a minute. Also, I just reminded myself that since the Blade mCX2, the upgrade of this, has come out, the prices on this helicopter, the mCX, has dropped significantly. When this was bought, in fact, it still has the price tag on it, it was $129.99 for the Ready to Fly. I checked on Horizon Hobby last night, and this same helicopter, Ready to Fly, was $99. So the price has come down about 30 bucks, and the bind and fly, if I remember correctly, is $79.99. Considering that the mCX2 is $99.99, same price as the Ready to Fly, but the bind and fly, and I think the Ready to Fly is a $119.99. I'm not positive on that. Don't hold me against it. But still, it's a great buy, and it's still a great flying helicopter. I'm going to go through the binding process with you. This is only for binding, and you should only have to do this once, although eventually you'll probably just feel safer binding it again. But anyway, this is only the binding procedure, and you do it like this. You plug the battery in, if my stubby fingers will cooperate. Alright, then you wait. There's a blinking light there. Can you see that? Blinking red light. That means it's ready to be bound. Now you take your radio and the left stick here, you push down until you hear a click, and you turn the radio on, and then release the stick. And watch that light. It's solid. That means you're ready to go. Alright, now for every time use, you're not going to have to bind it. So I'm going to show you the procedure for just turning on your equipment when you're just going to go fly, you know, on every other Tuesday or whatever. And so turn on your radio. Always do that first. You'll hear 2 beeps, or at least you should, unless it's in training mode. I'm not sure what it does in training mode. It beeps anyway. Also, the training mode you just heard me mention was, now you take the right stick and you press that in, and the light blinks, and that means you're in training mode, which means there's going to be less authority. If you move the stick all the way over, it's not going to react as quickly or as harshly as it would if you were in regular mode. That's mainly for beginners because they tend to over-control the helicopter. Anyway, let's do that again. Radio's on, and you plug your battery in. There's a red dot on the back of the connector and a red dot on the back of the battery. This way you don't get anything mixed up and reverse the polarity on the battery, which wouldn't be good. Because since this is a LiPo, it could result in a big boom. Anyway. Plug it in. Don't touch the helicopter. Let the gyro initialize. Once the red light goes solid, like it just did, you can move it, fly it, and you're ready to go. Stupid piece of string. Alright, let's get some flying room here. Excuse me a second while I rearrange the furniture. Okay, now in case you didn't realize this, or you don't know because you're a beginner, the Blade mCX is what's called a co-axial helicopter, meaning that there are 2 blades, one on top of each other, and they rotate in opposite directions to counteract for each other's torque. Alright, and we'll go ahead and fly this thing. Oh, I also forgot to mention that out of the box, it also comes with a manual. That's very helpful. I recommend reading that before you attempt to fly it, because it will tell you what the sticks do to make the heli go where, what the controls are, and everything else you need to know about your heli. I seem to have misplaced mine, so that's what happens when you take it out of the box and you put it on the kitchen table, and then spring cleaning comes. Alright, so out of the box, it's pretty, on a fresh battery, it's pretty lively. And like I said, it's just a little bit out of whack, but nothing major. Also, like I said, it only weighs 1 ounce. So when you're flying it in your house, don't fly it near any ceiling fans or air conditioning or heating vents. That's just because it moves pretty quick when the air influences it. And there's a few tricks you can try, like pirouettes and maybe some backwards flight. Both of these maneuvers are very easy. But the first maneuver you should learn is how to hover. Hands off, it hovers. Believe it. Hovering. Anyway, you can also try landing on something elevated, like the table here. And you could also try landing on something a little harder to do, harder to land on. Like so. Another thing, if you're going to try stuff like this, make sure everything's all sturdy so nothing falls over and breaks. It's just common sense. Also, if you know you're going to crash, or you start to hit something and you start hearing, like something like that happening, bring your throttle all the way back and just let the heli drop from 40,000 feet or wherever it is. Just let it hit the ground. By bringing the throttle back, it minimizes any damage you could do to the electronic unit in here, which last time I checked was pretty expensive, over $50. It's like half the price of the helicopter, pretty much. And it'll just help minimize damage to that, minimize damage to the rest of the heli. But if you do manage to break it, which is pretty hard considering how durable it is, but if you do manage to break it, E-flite has a full line of replacement parts. And you could buy nearly every single individual part for this heli at horizonhobby.com. Also, you can, on their website, you can find videos and I think an online manual and other things. So anyway, the Blade mCX, co-axial helicopter, very easy to fly, and any beginner can successfully pick it up and fly it successfully on their first flight with nearly no experience. The Blade mCX. Also, I don't want to make you sit in your computer chair watching this video for 45 minutes, so I'm just going to cut to the chase here. On a fresh battery, you can get a flight between 5 to 8 minutes long, depending on how hard you're on the sticks. If you add weight to the nose like I did, you might get a little shorter flying time. It takes about 30 minutes for the battery to charge, and you know that you're out of battery when one or both of two things happen. Either one, you'll start to feel it start to want to favor one side and you'll have to trim rudder into it. That's just with mine, I'm not sure about others. Like I said, mine was flown into a tree. So anyway, the major thing is the red light in the front will start to blink. And then you'll know it's time to land. And also, once it starts to blink, land as quickly as possible, because you've probably got about 10 seconds before the motors just shut off. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I enjoyed this helicopter. And remember, you can get that at horizonhobby.com, or you can go to your local hobby shop and support your local economy, which I recommend doing so. Anyway, thanks for watching.